cheers to the first non-spread pick show,
Yes.
non-NFL show we've ever done, guys.
College football.
We're talking
NCAA.
the semifinals. We're talking the Rose Bowl. We're talking, what's it, the Cotton Bowl?
It's actually
The Sugar Bowl.
yeah.
All right,
It's
even better.
in New Orleans.
New Orleans. I thought they were going to be in Texas, so
I did too.
Even better.
I thought they were.
better for what I'm picking. So yeah, this is, I think this is big for our state of Michigan. I think
Huge.
it's just a big betting weekend.
Yes, it is.
Whether you bet with your head or your heart, I think that's a lot of both going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get right into it. I'm so happy that the Rose Bowl has meaning again. I think last year's game between Utah and OSU was a disgrace to college football. I think what's happening across the landscape in college football is a disgrace. Because these kids aren't going to play in these, bowl games that have been institutions for literally 100 years.
Yeah.
Because they're too worried about getting paid. And I can't say I blame them, but it does disappoint me where it's going.
Also, it was a great betting time, you
Yeah.
know, with all the
You could get real
football players, playing.
Yeah, you could get
my
real
goodness,
like
man. I love scouting, those bowl games,
Absolutely.
man. And I'm talking about like the lower end bowl games. Now it's to a point where, most of these, kids aren't going to play.
you got 30 kids missing in games.
Yeah.
Not
It's
these two we're
ridiculous.
talking about. Everyone's fucking playing, guys. That's why it matters. We're here talking about it. I'm more than excited to be here with you, Andre, talking
man.
about it. We're out here repping our, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I don't have my Spartan shirt on today, but yeah,
Speaking
Pistons
of,
hat on.
none of these players are playing for my team. I mean, it's going to be like at least 10 players that's not playing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. So
Really?
let's hop
Anyway.
right into it. We have Alabama playing Michigan in the Rose Bowl. Michigan, a 1.5 point favorite. The under over 44.5. You have a lot of money coming in on Alabama right now. I'm saying like 80% of the bets, 80% of the money, probably on Bama. This line's not moving. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, well, I know why everybody is on Alabama, but I'm trying to figure out why is this line so close.
Yeah, they're not budging.
Well, I think what it is too is because I think Alabama usually plays to their competition a lot of times, and they've kind of had their struggles this season as well. I think
Auburn.
they've gotten stuff together. Yeah, Auburn, Texas.
USF.
Yeah, it's been a few games.
Been
right?
a few games they struggled, yeah.
They've
I agree.
struggled.
But I feel like they figured it out.
Oh yeah.
And even if this line was Alabama 1.5 in their favor, probably everyone's still betting Bama.
Yeah. Well, Bama, listen, Bama has that history of just dominating in these championship series, in these BCS, we'll say
Yeah.
BCS before the championship.
Yeah.
But they've been known to just dominate. Nick Saban, when you get Nick Saban any amount of time, he prepares and gets his team ready to play, whomever they're playing. It
Look
doesn't
at
matter.
the last time they've played Michigan teams. I believe they beat Michigan 49-0, and then the two times against State, don't get me started, 49-3 and 49-0.
We'll throw Notre Dame in there. They whipped us too.
Yeah,
Whipped up on us.
Midwest schools.
All right.
I think OSU's the only one that beat them.
Yes. Yeah. Ohio, for some reason, Ohio State plays them tough.
Yeah.
But what can we say about that?
Let's just go over schedules real quick, and I think that's a big reason I'm personally on Alabama.
Okay.
It's the quality of opponents. The
I
SEC year in, year out, and I mean, I watch Big Ten games. I don't watch SEC games like that, but I watched a lot of Big Ten football this year. And let me tell you guys, not good product on the field. Michigan State, not only did they lose like every game and get embarrassed in important spots against teams like U of M, PSU, OSU. They also put Hitler on the Jumbotron.
Oh my goodness.
That's the most embarrassing part. And even worse than their coach getting fired for a sex scandal. So, that's who the Michigans of the world are playing. And then you look at their non-conference schedule.
Yes.
Michigan played UNLV, Bowling Green, Eastern Carolina. And I'm not saying Bama didn't not play, what, Charlotte or something like
Yeah,
recently.
they've had questionable non-conference games.
I think it's Chattanooga.
Yeah, but they make up for it for the the SEC teams that they play.
Yeah, look at who they've won compared to like U of M. U of M plays no one. MSU's a no one. Rutgers is a no one. Nebraska stinks. IU stinks. Minnesota stinks.
I think Penn State was overrated.
Purdue stinks. Maryland, very overrated after the month of like October.
Tough defense though, Maryland.
Not too good either way.
But yeah, I get your point though.
PSU, OSU only big wins. James Franklin has not beat MSU, OSU in literally 10 years.
Exactly.
What's that tell you about him? Bama, they beat. Texas beat them.
Texas beat them
in a close one. But they beat Georgia, they beat Ole Miss, they beat LSU, they beat A&M, they beat Tennessee.
They beat Auburn. Although it was a struggle. But it's the Iron Bowl. That's usually always a tough game for both opponents.
And that's, and a lot of the advanced stats, it's the only justification I can have for the line being Michigan because of the quality of opponent. It's just going to look well in their ranking and reflect it. Like,
I think also them beating Ohio State, has it been 3 times or 2 times in a row?
I want to say 2 times, possibly 3.
Okay. I think that, makes a difference too. And we all know how well Ohio State plays SEC teams.
True.
So I think that may have something to do with it too. But I just think also that a lot of people think that this might be Michigan's year. Okay,
I did at first, and then they got Bama instead of Florida State, which I know a lot of people are salty about. I thought Georgia should have gotten as well. I don't think you deserve to miss the college football playoff if you lose your conference championship game after being undefeated in the SEC of all places.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy, man. That's why I'm glad they're changing, the amount of teams.
Yeah.
Next season because that just wasn't fair.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it definitely wasn't fair for Florida State. We won't even get into all of that, but
Yeah. They're suing.
Right.
That's how far it's gotten there. I mean.
Now give me the nuts and bolts of this game, like, from a standpoint of the actual game, where's the dominant part of Alabama? Why do you think they should win?
Alabama's defensive line.
Okay.
Pressure's much higher rate. Also, both these teams do run at a very high clip. They're running both at 60%. Under-over on this game reflects that. I like the over a lot in this game, too.
Okay.
But at the same time, I could just see Bama crushing these guys like 28-10.
Yeah.
And their special teams a lot better. Michigan's field goal, they shot 70%, kicked 70%. Bama converted 86% of their field goals. JJ's had a much higher completion rate, but he hasn't been playing well as of late.
Last 5 games, man, he has not.
I don't even think the guy's thrown for 3 touchdowns.
He hasn't.
And Milrose, starting to cook.
Yes.
And on the offensive side of the ball, they're averaging 3.5 more yards of completion.
Okay.
That I think that's a big thing, especially when you need to stretch the field at certain times, because I think Bama's going to envelop you. And Bama's secondary is worse than it's been in years.
Yes.
D-line still gets his pressure, though. That's where it gets iffy. And Zach Zinter of Michigan being out, that's the heart and soul of the offensive line. Good luck.
Yeah, that Zach Zinter, that injury kind of like was the that kind of swayed me to Alabama.
Yeah.
Because you need all hands on deck. Mm-hmm. He was a great player, and they need him. I think McCarthy, I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe I don't know what the deal is, but he hasn't been playing well the last few games. And I just think Alabama has more talent.
Yeah,
overall they have more talent. And I just another thing about Michigan. Now their running game, they run the ball pretty well, but they haven't run the ball as well as they did last season. Mm-hmm. Okay, Blake Corum, seems like he's lost a step or two to me. He doesn't have that explosiveness.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to need to beat them. They're going to need explosive plays.
Yep.
The defensive line of Alabama is pretty good.
Yep.
So I don't know
and
how
don't forget
well,
about their offensive line too.
Right, yeah. I don't know how well Michigan's going to hold up. Their offensive line is going to hold up. Because McCarthy could very well be getting sacked a lot.
And I mean, Bama did have and that's why I said about the defensive line. It's the sack, percentage, like in the SEC compared to the Big Ten. I understand you're playing big boys with like Iowa and with the Wisconsins of the world, but SEC produces a ton of offensive lineman products too that go to the NFL, and they have an advantage there. They're 9.6% compared to U of M's 8.6% when it comes to getting sacks.
Okay.
And both are pretty big numbers too. Like getting a sack on one of every 8 plays is kind of crazy.
Right.
Or, and I just think U of M is going to be scrambling, and can JJ provide you anything? And then along with Harbaugh's coaching, are we going to get a Philly special in this game at the goal line and a couple pick sixes? I just think there's a clear coaching,
Yeah, that's another point too. You're right about that. I think Michigan, they're going to need to pass the ball too. I don't think they have the balance to beat in Alabama.
Yeah, even though I think Roman Wilson and Cornelius Johnson are very good. They're pro prospects.
Yeah, but they have to mix it up though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to have to be able to run and pass the ball. And I think McCarthy is going to have to be able to move and scramble and kind of and maybe run the ball a little bit. I'll tell you another thing too. Michigan has problems with a running quarterback.
That's always been, look at Tua's brother playing him Maryland early last year.
Exactly. So, Milroe has just came into his own.
Even the first half of that Rutgers game, I forgot his name, Wimsatt, he was fucking tearing him up a little bit.
Yeah, man.
But then, there is the whole cheating scandal in that, guys. Don't forget.
And that's when McCarthy started playing bad.
Yeah,
after that came out.
And that literally happened too.
So what's up with that?
Yeah, the greatest second half team ever. Someone knew about it, was making their dollars. So shout out to them.
I know, right?
FPI does love U of M in this game, but Football Power Index I don't care about too much. Like I used to when I was younger. I think it helps you can pick basketball games better with it, because even if you look at last week, like something like the Bills and the Cowboys, they liked the Cowboys in that game.
Wow, interesting.
Surprisingly enough. And even last night, Philly and Seattle. Of course they love Philly.
They love Philly. What do you think about, because I think this is the strongest point of Michigan's team is their defensive line.
Yeah.
You think the defensive line can put any pressure on Milroe, make him make some mistakes, maybe not run as much either?
Like one or two, but again, I just think they're going to out-scheme him. Saban always has something ready, and I think the committee really has something against U of M. After everything that's happened this year, only coach ever suspended twice in a season is Harbaugh. It is Michigan versus everyone, but I'm laying a marker, guys. Put it all on Bama, 1.5. If you want to bet a money line, I'm good with it.
I'm following you on that. I'm taking Alabama as well. One last thing, too, about the running quarterbacks. Last year, Max Duggan? Is that him? Max Duggan?
I don't know.
He ran all over
Michigan. That
Michigan.
guy a pedophile or something?
Oh, man.
That's
there you go.
That's the TLC. The Duggins.
Yeah.
K+8 or something. I don't know.
Man, he was killing Michigan with the run.
He was killing him with his legs. And I agree. That's the big deciding factor to me.
Yeah, I got Alabama all the way.
Michigan versus everyone is officially over, guys. And I really was there on Michigan winning it all for a while. So sorry guys. You guys ran into Bama. My bad.
I know it's a lock. It's a lock for me.
Lock it in. And that's coming from two Michigan boys. Even though I am a state grad, I bet Michigan a lot this year. Don't you fucking forget it, folks.
Yeah, I did some Michigan things. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Michigan, but I like to see them do well.
I like betting them. I don't like seeing them do well. Go green, baby.
Hey, I got love for Michigan State too.
Hey,
man.
shout outs.
But you know whose team I like.
Hell yeah. The
Heart and
worst.
soul, baby. Heart and soul.
The worst. You should root for IU.
Oh, damn.
All right, you ready to go to the Sugar Bowl?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Texas is back, but not for long. They're playing Washington in the Cotton Bowl, right?
Yes.
I keep forgetting which one it is. I'm like Cotton Sugar.
It's the Sugar Bowl, actually.
Sugar Bowl. Okay,
Yeah.
they're in New Orleans. I believe this is the nightcap.
Yes, it's the last game. Yep.
And for me, you know, I haven't seen where money's going. I'm assuming from where it opened at 5.5. Texas is favored, by the way. At this point, it is 4, I believe you said.
Yep.
What's the under over 63 still?
63. Yep.
Okay. And at this point, you know, this guarantees a team from a weak conference getting a title game spot. You know, that's a little different in years past when both of these conferences have been shut out of the playoff. But hey, when you win all your games or you lose one and your only loss is to Bama, here we are.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. Yep. So shout out. I still have my reservations. I think Georgia had a legitimate case.
Oh, most definitely. I think a couple teams had kind of legitimate
Florida
cases.
State, of course.
Yeah.
If Florida State had their QB, I guarantee you they're in that game.
They'd be in it.
Also.
Texas would be out.
Yeah, Texas would be out, and it'd probably be Georgia 4 or 3, and then probably, yeah. Yeah, it sounds about right to me. Because Ohio State probably had no standing at like 6.
Right. Yeah.
Oregon lost.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ohio State, could make a point, too. Because, I mean, if Georgia can say that, then Ohio State could definitely, talk about, them not getting in.
Absolutely.
But, and that's why they just have to expand the teams, man, which
Yes,
they're doing.
sir.
Is just makes it more fair. Let's just have a tournament.
Yeah.
What the hell,
That's
Why
yeah.
not? At least,
Get rid of the weak conference, because that's what we're moving to. We're moving to minor league football. That's really what it is.
That's what it is, man.
These guys are getting paid.
Yeah.
If you buy season tickets, you're not guaranteed your favorite player is going to be there next year if you're rooting for a college team. Like, let's be honest.
Well, do you even? I know I'm probably out of line for this, but do you even have to be academically eligible anymore? Think about. I mean, these guys get paid. I mean, they probably so. I'm tripping.
Honestly,
but I'm just saying, why?
I like what you're saying. I don't think that's out of line because I will just say I know from sources that these cats ain't going to class or nothing. They're getting passed, dude. I know from sources. Like it's as corrupt as you think, but it's a $1 billion entertainment product. They're gonna let these kids slide right through while some other, maybe deserving kid, gets bumped down. Welcome to life. This is money. This is greed.
It's all about money.
College football, baby. We love it. Let's talk Washington, Texas. What do you like in this game?
This was hard for me, but I'm gonna go Washington +4. I think Michael Penix Jr. He may be the best quarterback, college quarterback in my opinion, or up there. He's a dynamic guy. Can do a lot of things. He's such a his stature. Well, he's a big guy, but I mean his stature as far as him playing.
Yeah,
he doesn't get nervous. It seems like he seems like a veteran NFL quarterback. Honestly, not to say that he'll be a great NFL player, but
usually them lefties aren't. Except Tua, he's the best one we got going.
Tua, and I'm a lefty myself,
Nice.
So. but I think they have a dynamic and potent offense. I think that's going to maybe give Texas some issues because
Romo
they have such a balanced attack.
Jalen Polk. I mean,
my goodness, man.
You got Troy Fatanu protecting them at left tackle. Like they got
they can run the ball a little bit
and
too,
they can run a little bit as well.
Yes. But what's going to hurt Washington is on the defensive end.
Oh yeah.
Their defensive line is not good at all.
Yeah, there's not any like real pro prospects when you're looking. When you look at these teams.
Yeah.
You look at kind of like the Pro Football Focuses of the world or like the team rankings, and you kind of see where these guys might be projected. Most of those guys aren't making like NFL rosters, or they're going to be like late, 6th, 7th rounders. So I tend to agree with you. I think they might get torn up by Texas.
Well, one thing that's I see is that their red zone defense is not very good. But however, Texas has problems scoring in the red zone too.
Yeah.
So it might come down to who can do what in the red zone, honestly. But that is their weakness though, is their defense. On Texas, on the other hand, with Texas can move the ball too. I like that. I like Quinn. I like the quarterback.
He's paid as fuck, I'll tell you that much.
Yes, he is.
He's got a Manning behind him, so, you know.
Well, I think Texas is going to need to establish a run in order to win this game.
Oh, I agree. And they run the piss out the ball. You wouldn't even... I think I have it written down. It was like something silly. Let's see. Yeah, Texas only passes at a 47% clip compared to UW.
Oh, wow.
But Texas does average a lot more plays a game. But I think that's from running the weak Big 12. You know, their only losses to OU, man.
We got to talk about the conferences.
I think the Big 12 is the most overrated conference. I think the Pac-12, they play a lot of offense. They don't play much defense unless you're Oregon State and Arizona.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, look at USC. They're terrible on defense, but they could get in a shootout with the best of them. Look at Oregon. Okay defense, but mostly getting into shootouts.
So would you say, I mean, we talked about the teams that could have gotten in or whatever. Do you think this is a good matchup, you know, as far as the whole shebang, Alabama, Michigan, Texas, Washington? Do you think we'll have a complete champion?
Yes.
With these particular teams.
Yes, and I think we'll preview that in a couple minutes here. I think they got it right for the most part. I'm okay with who the committee selected. I think there's a vendetta against Michigan to not win the title due to the cheating scandal, but I think they ultimately got it. I was fine with Washington being in no matter what. They had to be in as an undefeated team who beat Oregon twice, beat Oregon State, beat USC.
Yeah.
Earned it.
They earned it.
They beat Boise State as well, if that means anything. You know, better non-conference than Texas. Texas was playing cupcakes too, except Alabama.
Right. Yeah.
But I just think that it's like TCU last year, man. Yeah, they beat Michigan, but every game was like a 3-point game where TCU squeaked by in their conference, man. It was tight.
I just knew that they were going to get beat down, stomped down by either Ohio State or Alabama or Georgia. I'm sorry, or Georgia. So I just knew that TCU was just overmatched.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit better about this. What do you think about the coaches on both for both teams?
I really couldn't tell you much. Couldn't look too much into stats. I just think it's going to be like a fun game. Not one I have a ton of betting interest in. I'm rooting for points, to be honest with you. I think 63.5 is a lock.
Really?
I think there's going to be 1 million points scored in this game.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
Both offenses can score.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like where I think Bama, Michigan's going to be more conservative. They both play pro-style offenses. They're spreading this shit the fuck out. We're you know, five empty. Like, let's go.
Oh, I think Michael Penix is going to go berserk.
Yeah.
I think his stats and everything.
I think they can tear this team apart.
I will say this about Steve Sarkisian for Texas, the Texas coach. He is 2-3 ATS as a head coach in bowl games, if that means anything to you.
Doesn't mean much. Harbaugh and Saban mean more than like his track record, especially in the last couple of years where these might be skewed at this point with eligibility and people sitting out.
Yeah.
So we're both on the same page of Washington being the play here. I got them winning this game even. I like the 4. I like them winning as well.
Oh, wow. I got Texas winning, but I definitely have Washington. I like them to cover the spread.
Like the 4 as well. All right.
Yes.
And furthermore, so you got Texas and Bama rematch championship. I got Bama Washington championship. Who do you like in your championship game?
And Nick Saban doesn't lose twice to the same team in the same year.
Yep.
Okay, same season. So I'm definitely would choose Alabama to win the whole thing.
Doesn't that suck, man? That's who. Yeah, I want Washington to win so bad too, man. But I got Bama winning it all. I hate it. I hate him so much.
Nick the savior. And let me say this too because I didn't mention this about Alabama's team. Tommy Rees used to be Notre Dame offensive coordinator, used to be a former quarterback for Notre Dame. His play calling has gotten better throughout the season. It was a little shaky, those first, I'd say 4 games until he knew who his quarterback was. I think he had to know the overall talent, what the strong suits were for his team. He's called better. His game calling has gotten better, a lot better. So, that might be a factor as well. And I'm gonna say this, and I could be over my head again, but he could be the coming to take over Alabama if Nick Saban, decides he wants to leave in a couple years.
Or,
I pulled that out my ass though.
I could see that.
It could happen though.
There's guys. There's a lot of guys wanting that spot.
Yeah.
Greatest recruiting in the world. Also the greatest cheaters in the world. Don't forget, college football's so dirty, dude. Everyone's not mad at Michigan because they cheated. It's the way they cheated. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Every one of these teams are cheating.
If Michigan loses too, they're gonna be like, that's what cheaters get.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Couldn't cheat in this game.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
It's gonna be both games are gonna be really great. What time does Michigan play? Is it 5?
They're the early game. They're 5 p.m. Yep.
5 p.m. Okay.
Yeah, Rose Bowl. Always 5 p.m. start.
Yeah, no doubt.
I love it. Good old Rose Parade. I hope everyone out there, if you're going from Michigan, enjoy your L you're about to be handed, because...
Well, it's New Year's Eve. How do you plan on watching the game? That was a question I had.
Me and Miranda, 5-year anniversary. I probably won't see it. I might. Oh, wow. Yeah, I probably won't watch it, to be honest.
Both games or what?
I'll be able to see the Texas game later at night, but usually we'll be at some sort of restaurant, hanging low. So yeah, worst day to ask someone to be your girlfriend on
New Year's Eve.
Because we don't going out
perfect, though, sure.
Literally a pain in the ass to go anywhere.
Me, I don't know where I'm going to be. I'll either be at a friend's house or either my house.
In the gutter.
yeah, just kind of chilling, hanging low.
Yeah.
Who knows? I might go out. I don't know. It's just
New Year's Eve, dude. Yeah. Who knows?
But I do want to see these games, though.
Get into some trouble.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be throwing some real money at Bama, I'm thinking.
Yeah. I agree with you.
For as much as I haven't been throwing money at NFL, usually the last 2 years I've put, I won't disclose, but usually a good portion of money goes to Alabama on a New Year's Eve game.
They win. They just win, though.
They just win.
Most of the time, they win.
If they're in, I'm betting them. Last year they weren't in, were they?
No, they weren't in last year.
Georgia.
Yeah. And who was the last team that beat them? Was it, gosh, man. That's when Hurts got benched and Tua came in. But Tua actually won the game.
They won the game. Yeah, they won that game.
He did win the game.
I don't remember.
I can't remember who it was.
That's too far. Maybe OU
I want
or
to say
something.
it was an SEC team, though.
Yeah.
Could
have been.
Who knows? But yeah, Alabama.
Timing,
yeah. Alabama about to mollywap Michigan.
And we get to just soak it all in.
I know.
All right. I think that's it for our first non-NFL show, guys.
That's it.
We'll be back.
You guys tuned into this one.
Yeah, we'll be back. More NFL stuff on the way. NBA's coming quickly. It's going to probably be mixed in with our NFL playoff shows, and we're going to try and get some other people on the show eventually here too. Get some other stuff working. I keep saying this. I know. Things take time.
It's going to get done.
Yeah, but all right, guys, enjoy the games. Happy New Year to you guys as well. If we didn't say Merry Christmas already.
Happy holidays. Have a safe New Year.
Hell yeah. All right, we'll see you guys later.